Chrissy Teigen, A Very Sinking Narcissist, Part 2. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. You join me now for continued analysis of the behaviours of Chrissy Teigen appertaining to the establishment of her behaviours demonstrating what she is. Now we move forward a couple of months and to an article that has appeared on page 6, dated 22nd of May 2021, written by Sarah Nathan and Ollie Coleman, headed The Rise and Fall of Undercover Bully, Chrissy Teigen. Viewers of The Voice will see a surprising new commercial this Tuesday. John Legend, one of the judges on the NBC competition show, will appear in a spot for vacation rental site VRBO, along with his wife, Chrissy Teigen, their 2 young children, and Teigen's mother, Vilaliuk Pepper Teigen. It should have been a clever piece of cross-promotion. Instead, Teigen is embroiled in a scandal that is casting a dark shadow over her career, not to mention the business deals, very important that, she shares with Legend and even her mother, who has benefited from Teigen's fame with a newly released cookbook of her own. Teigen has been exposed for sending shockingly cruel messages to other women on social media, telling TV personality Courtney Stodden in 2011 to go to sleep forever, and mocking Lindsay Lohan, who has admitted to cutting herself in the past by tweeting that same year, Lindsay adds a few more slits to her wrists when she sees Emma Stone. In 2013, Teigen publicly called Teen Mom star Farrah Abraham a whore. Those are just 3 examples of this. Turning to the allegations appertaining to Courtney Stodden, an article also from page 6 of May 11th, 2021 reads as follows. Courtney Stodden claimed in a new interview that Chrissy Teigen used to cyberbully them and tell them to kill themselves. She wouldn't just publicly tweet about wanting me to take a dirt nap, but would privately DM me and tell me to kill myself. Stodden, who came out as non-binary in April and uses they-them pronouns, alleged in a profile published by the Daily Beast Monday things like, "I can't wait for you to die." Stodden, 26, began dredging up Teigen's 2011 tweets about them in March, putting the Cravings Cookbook author 35 on blast in a video that highlighted posts ranging from a simple "I hate you" to "at Courtney Stodden, my Friday fantasy, you, dirt nap," and "go to sleep forever." In her interview with the Daily Beast, Stodden recalled other instances of mistreatment they allegedly received from celebrities over the years. And there's reference made to other individuals. Joe Behar had a field day with me calling me a slut. Courtney Love told me I was a whore. And some of the worst treatment I got was from women, and we're not going to get anywhere if we keep holding each other back. And there's more information about Stodden's background. But leaving aside the other allegations, as this is a series of videos about Chrissy Teigen, the point remains here. Tweeting about somebody, not once, not twice, but at least 3 times, is hoovering, the direct assertion of control. Doing so by tweeting and then privately direct messaging is hoovering, and they are malign hoovers. The comments themselves demonstrate a sense of entitlement to pass judgment on another individual in that way, a lack of accountability for the comments, and a lack of emotional empathy to say such things about another individual. To encourage an individual to kill themselves, to talk about it being a pleasure, in effect, for that person to die, demonstrates a wholesale absence of emotional empathy. And such comments, not once, not twice, but at least 3 times, demonstrate an absence of emotional empathy, a sense of entitlement, and amount to hoovers. So those were the comments that were made towards Courtney Stodden. And then, with regard to Lindsay Lohan, the US Sun, in an article from the 15th of May, by Ekin Karasin states, Chrissy Teigen has been slammed by Lindsay Lohan's mother, Dina, after she shared a disturbing tweet about the actress. The model, 35, insinuated that the Mean Girls actress self-harms in a resurfaced post from January the 16th, 2011. Chrissy posted, Lindsay adds a few more slits to her wrists when she sees Emma Stone. Lindsay's mum, Dina, 58, defended her daughter after the tweet was uncovered this week, telling Chrissy to look into herself and own her actions. Good luck with that. As a single mother of 4, I have raised them to be kind, humble and non-judgmental, she told Fox News. That being said, I will not judge her words towards others, but I stand firm in one looking into oneself and continuing to learn and grow. Hashtag own you. And there is a screenshot of the relevant tweet that was issued on the 16th of January 2011 at 8:08 p.m. Again, that is a Hoover, a malign one. It absents any emotional empathy and is done to assert control and to provoke. Then we have Farrah Abraham, who's called a whore, and Page 6 also provides an article by Leah Bitsky, which states as follows. Chrissy Teigen is known as the Queen of Twitter, and like any sovereign, she has scuffled with many of her subjects along the way. The model, who has racked up millions of followers since joining the social media platform in 2009, has had public spats over the years with celebrity and public figures, including Donald Trump, knock-on-knock action there, Courtney Stodden and Tyra Banks. And therefore there is a list of the feuds. First of all, Donald Trump. One of Teigen's most notable feuds involved a former president of the United States. She famously went head-to-head with Donald Trump via Twitter during the 2016 election and throughout his time in the White House. That is until Trump blocked her on the app. His blocking is the third assertion of control withdrawal. After 9 years of hating Donald J. Trump, telling him, LOL, no one liked you, was the straw, Teigen wrote on Twitter in July 2017, alongside a screenshot of a message saying Trump had blocked her. While she laughed off the move, Teigen did admit that not being able to see Trump's Twitter gave her anxiety, pity play, because he often used the platform to communicate with the country and to call her the filthy-mouthed wife of John Legend. Trump there exhibited control in his normal bombastic style with a direct Hoover. Knock-on-knock action. Her comments were designed by her unconscious narcissism to assert control over Trump, and he responded in kind by nullifying the threat to control, by smearing her and insulting her as the filthy-mouthed wife of John Legend, and ultimately then asserting control through withdrawal. The article refers to a spat with Alison Roman. Teigen's beef with Alison Roman has lingering effects to this day. The Cravings Cookbook author slammed the former New York Times writer after Roman criticised Teigen's career trajectory into the food world. Such criticism will have been challenge fuel given, but it threatens the innate need for control that the narcissist has. What Chrissy Teigen has done is so crazy to me, Roman told the New Consumer in May 2020. She had a successful cookbook, and then it was like, boom, line at Target. Boom, now she has an Instagram page that has over 1 million followers where it's just like people running a content farm for her. That horrifies me, and it's not something that I ever want to do. I don't aspire to that. That is a criticism of her which will threaten her control. Teigen then tweeted out Page 6 coverage of the ordeal and shared how hurt she was that Roman would bash two successful Asian women. Pity play, playing the race card by way of triangulation. The spat with Courtney Stodden is mentioned, and Farrah Abraham. Teigen had some nasty words to say about Teen Mom star Farrah Abraham in 2013. Farrah Abraham now thinks she's pregnant from her sex tape, she tweeted at the time, adding, "In other news, you're a whore and everyone hates you. Whoops, not other news, sorry." Accordingly, a Hoover, as it's directed towards that individual, but also an indirect assertion of control because it's placed on Twitter for other people to comment upon it and respond to it. The article explains that critics immediately slammed Teigen for slut-shaming Farrah, who had made a sex tape with porn star James Dean, but the Sports Illustrated cover girl was quick to defend herself. How is calling out a willing, lied as leaked sex tape participant who hired Paps to photo her buying preg test this AM slut-shaming? She tweeted. Wow, amazed to see the outrage behind calling a stage leaked sex tape chick from Teen Mum exactly what she is. Go on with your bad selves. Again, that may well be accurate and is another instance of the narcissist utilising either the truth, the half-truth, or nowhere near the truth, so long as it allows the assertion of control. What she may have said there may well have been accurate, but somebody with emotional empathy would have thought better of doing it, and would have thought, but it probably wouldn't even cross their mind to have made comment, or even if it did, they'd have thought, well, who am I to judge? And they would leave it there. Of course, this individual has no emotional empathy. This is being demonstrated by these repeated behaviours, a pattern of habitual examples of an absence of emotional empathy, a sense of entitlement, a lack of boundary recognition, haughty behaviours, direct malign hoovering, the assertion of control, the drawing of fuel. The article explains that Teigen's words against Abraham resurfaced in 2021, with several Twitter users calling for the model to be cancelled. Then there is a spat with a child called Quevenzene, I think, Wallace. And the article explains Teigen doesn't pick on people her own size. The Bring the Funny judge didn't have the nicest words to say about the child actress Wallace in 2011. At the time, Wallace was nominated for an Oscar for her role in Beasts of the Southern Wild at just 9 years old, but Teigen wasn't completely sold on her talents. Is it okay to call a small child cocky? She wrote in a now-deleted tweet. I'm forced to like Wallace because she's a child, right? Okay, fine. Again, absence of emotional empathy, sense of entitlement to comment. Why do we need to know the slops of your delinquent mind, Teigen spilling over? But of course you feel justified in doing it because your narcissism drives you to behave in that way in order to assert control over both Wallace and your followers, and you of course draw fuel from doing so. Then the next spat involves Tyra Banks. Page 6 reported in 2015, the two sparred behind the scenes of their talk show, Fab Life. You never put two supermodels on the same show together, a TV insider said of the rift at the time, especially when one is more than 10 years younger than the other. The sources explained that the stars' personalities clashed. No, it was the need for control which clashed, as they had very different approaches to the series. They are so different. Tyra thinks about everything. She thinks about what to say, down to when to move her arm. Chrissy's from the new school, where she says whatever she wants. Sense of entitlement, lack of boundary recognition, instinctive automatic response. Then it moves on to a spat with Cassidy. The article explains Teigen doesn't just fight her own battles, she gets involved in other people's drama too. The former Deal or No Deal briefcase model infamously ragged on Cassidy after the Arrow actress slammed sports journalist Erin Andrews. Responding to Andrews' post-game interview with NFL player Richard Sherman, Cassidy tweeted, "Seriously, why isn't she doing her job?" That's when Teigen decided to step in and defend Andrews' honour. Job, the word a person does regularly to make money. Alternative, what at Erin Andrews has. Second alternative, what you don't have. Buy, she wrote in a now-deleted tweet. She added, "Own it. I'll take you seriously when you don't simultaneously talk shit and preach the gospel." They tweeted back and forth at each other, with Cassidy writing, "I'm sorry, you have negativity inside you. Can't be healthy. To be clear, not shit-talking, but interesting you took it that way." And therefore, again, there's the need to assert control, a lack of boundary recognition by inserting her into a discussion or an interaction with other people, and feels that she's entitled to wade in there to say her piece. And therefore, we have a range of behaviours that have been exhibited over and over again, not just with one person, not with two, but with several, whereby Teigen has utilised social media as a means to assert control over other people, and to do so indirectly by, in effect, triangulating the recipient of her malign hoover or malign comment with her followers. That is a pattern of repeated behaviour over a period of time. This is not a one-off that was occasioned by somebody having a shitty day at work. This was not a one-off by somebody slamming the tequila down and letting loose with some supposed pithy remarks and immediately regretting them with a hangover the following morning. This is an individual that operates with a sense of entitlement, a need to say what she wants to say without any emotional empathy for those who are affected by her comments. Many of the comments are not founded in the majority perspective of truth. Others are. But that, in effect, is largely irrelevant, because what matters is the ability to assert control, the ability to nullify threats to control, the ability to draw fuel, and that is what she has done repeatedly. Her tweeting history and the examples that page 6 has provided there demonstrate a huge sense of entitlement, an absence of emotional empathy, a lack of accountability for her behaviour, grandiosity, haughty behaviours, various forms of manipulation, an absence of boundary recognition, and significant aspects of the narcissistic dynamic, which all support demonstrating what she is. Now, the page 6 article of May 22nd continues with showing the fallout as a consequence of the behaviours that occurred. And in part 3, I'll be examining that, the impact upon Chrissy Teigen, and, moreover, what her recent responses have been to this, which only go to underline and emphasise what she actually is. Join me in part 3.